What do I think good acting is? I think it's got to be honest. And for me personally, I like the sort of acting that you really can see someone's soul, kind of reveals the soul a little bit. It's not like glossy, you know, movie star moments. It's just a simple, like almost insight into who that person really is. They could be saying one thing, but you really see what's going on. But it's got to be honest and connected.
Gina Gershon is a wonderful actress who's given outstanding performances in such movies as Bound, Showgirls, and Pray for Rock and Roll. She prepares for a role in a very personal and original way, and on this site you'll hear her talk about her use of dreams. Now, the use of dreams is a technique explored in the beginning of the 20th century by the great Russian master teacher and director and actor Michael Chekhov. But it's rare, in my experience, to hear it articulated so well and used so importantly by such an accomplished actress. Thank you for doing this, Gina Gershon.
I want to say it's different for every part, but it's not really. I think I work, I use a lot of dream work, the stuff that I learned with Sandra Seacat. I think it's just a way, I mean, it's based in sensory work, but it really more taps into your own personal subconscious, unconscious, that if you have, I've always worked with my dreams before I was even acting. I used to do it when I was little, and so it's something that's very real to me, and I've been writing them down forever and ever. So you would just, if you have a character, and you would just ask certain very specific questions about the character and in the part. I mean, you know, you can get as specific as in this sort of scene, or what's their struggle, or, you know, just getting to the core. You want to get to the core of the person. And I'll usually work on it, you know, for a month or so before I even start working. You'll just ask a specific question, and then you have a dream, and then you write it down the next day. And then specifically, like if I'm either working with Sandra or someone, or if I'm working with myself, there's certain, it's like in every dream you have, like, there's symbols. They're your own personal symbols. Like all of a sudden, you know, you're carrying around a paper bag. And after either working with Sandra or now I kind of know which things to key into. It's like, well, what's the paper bag mean? Do you know what I mean? Or what's this mean? Or what's that mean? Because all the answers are all there. And then I do these things, active imaginations, which are really interesting, where you just ask these kind of energies what they are. I mean, it sounds so woo, but more often than not, and, you know, I'm always kind of like, God, this is such a strange way to work, but instead of getting answers from here, it's like these intuitive answers. And you could have the shortest little dream, and you're like, oh God, it didn't really work. And of course, everything is in there. But I've taken, you know, these active imaginations that talk, and I've done characterizations, and I actually just make those my characters. I remember I was in Scotland with Sandra doing a workshop, and we were working on shadow stuff, and so we were doing these rituals, and you know, you put these whole things together. And I remember this one character came out of a dream that was like a dragon lady, you know, and so because you act it out. Sometimes you'll like write out the scenes and you act them out, and you find all your own dynamics, and you find, it's like in a sensory thing, you figure out what triggers you. You know, I mean, so then you could use it in sensory work. So you'll take that and then take it to the mat, whatever. But there's this one character that really was so alive, and I acted her out, and I remember drawing pictures of her and her nails and this and that and that. And she was really potent. And I remember like 3 or 4 years later, when I got Showgirls, I remember thinking, God, what am I going to do with her? You know, I start drawing these pictures, and I'm like, I've seen this person. Who is this person? I realized it was that person that I found years ago, and I based everything off of her. It was everything I needed to know. So I brought back all that stuff in it. And you do rituals with it. You know, I would put it in some of the dance movements, some of the weird, you know, like song and dance stuff, like movements that you actually put, because if you're in front of a camera, you could almost use it as a ritual, you know.